Welcome to the 10 Acre Woods. My name's Mark, and I've got some exciting news to share with you. A few different things that we're going to cover in this video. The first one, though, we're going to head into the barn. I've been doing some experimenting, and we're going to try something out and see if it works. Now, we're going to give an update on something that happened this past 3 weeks, as well as the birds, head around, check out the animals, as well as checking out our new greenhouse that we have under construction. Alright, that should be about right. So, I've been tinkering with this little guy here, and we are actually going to tap into the past, because the things that have already happened, well, have already happened. So we're going to see if we can tap into Mark in the past. I've tested it out, we've communicated, so let's see if it works. So here we go. All right. Oh, hey, Mark in the future. It is Mark here in the past. Now, it's actually the 23rd of May, and I have something exciting to show you. Come with me. So, the exciting news is we do get some animals in from time to time that can't be in the regular videos, which is why Mark in the future told me to take over at this point. Now, the reasoning can be many things. A common one is they get seized. So animals will get seized from a property. And then there is a 14-day hold that's placed on said animals. And in certain cases, of course, the owners want the animals back. So if we start publishing that we have these animals, it gives them the opportunity to jump in their truck and drive down to our farm in the middle of the night and break them out. I apologize for keeping this secret from you, but it is for the animals' safety. And those animals are, he's still a little shy, but this is Curly. Curly's Alpha, and he is an Angora goat. These are all males, these are all intact males. Hey, bud. See, if I don't have food, he's not happy. He doesn't want that. He doesn't want affection. Now these two, oh, Mo loves affection. Hi, buddy. Now we figure Mo, well, it's Larry, Curly, and Mo. So Larry, Curly, and Mo. So we figure Larry over there, he's about 2 years old, 1.5 to 2 years old. You can see he has a scar on the side. I'm guessing that there was some unsafe areas where he was living, and he got caught on a fence apparently. Hi, Mo. So these are all Angora goats, and they are they're in good shape now. When they came in, these two are separated because they were in very bad shape. We had to give them multiple injections, and we had to do some shearing around some sensitive areas on the undercarriage because they had mats and they had some infections and a lot of different things going on. So it's been basically 2 weeks now. They are going home this coming Monday, so that's exciting, and they're going to a home that has this breed of goats. Yeah, so there's some more Angora goats that you're going to be able to see, guys. And Mo, every time I come in, he's just right here. Oh, you're cute. Yes, you are cute. Now, their wool is sometimes a little tough to, to take care of. He's lots of hay in his goatee. And of course, yeah, I know, Curly, he won't let me get him, we could get in there and we could, start pulling stuff out and cleaning them up. He's just going to get more on them. What's going to happen is the people that are taking him, they are going to shear them. So they've got all the equipment for shearing, so that is why they haven't been completely sheared. They've just kind of been cleaned up. Hey, buddy? Yeah, nothing. Yeah, he doesn't. So, if I were to go over and grab some food from one of our food containers, Oh, here we go here. So I will grab some of this. Ooh, so these are alfalfa pellets. And he's gonna have a change of tune here. Of course, food. Yes, there you go, buddy. Oh, hey, well, what? I feed you? There's a couple more there. Don't headbutt the hand that feeds you. You are... No, there's none left. Yeah, I know. Oh, I'd be upset too, right? So we put this board up here because our concern was, oh, what did I do? Okay, well, I'll have to get him some. All right, now I have some for you. You know. And am I going to be able to get some to Larry? Quick, Larry, quick. Here, he got some. I'll just throw it in. So yeah, Larry's a beta. He's not an alpha. Hey Mo, but you're so cute. All right, so from time to time, as I mentioned, these guys come in. We do have them inside the barn, and this is why I haven't really taken you into the barn in the last 2 weeks. But now you know. So that's it. I will send you back to Mark in the future. Don't tell me anything. I don't want to know. With everything that's going on in 2020, keep it a secret. And I'll see you later. All right, well that seemed to work. That's great. Didn't think it would work again. It was unstable last time. But there, now you know the whole story of what went on here in the last few weeks. So there are times, of course, when we can't give out that information just because of certain reasons. Now the Angora goats and the rabbits are now off farm, and we have found homes for all of them. So that's great news and another successful rescue. But we did get some other animals in fairly recently, actually yesterday, and we're gonna head back here and check them out. They're back inside the pen, and I can show you these ones here. And here they are. So we have that one there on the back is the dad, and then we have, of course, 1, 2, and 3 little ones. Now, if you look closely, they are, well, they're not pure, because dad's not pure, but lion head is the first thing that comes to mind as soon as you look at them. They've got that mane, and even the coloring. Oh, get off him. So what happens is dad hasn't seen his kids, and these are the boys. So he is basically doing a dominance. He's telling them that I'm the boss, and you guys are not, essentially. And that's how rabbits display their dominance. Now, so those are the 3, and in here we have 1 female. Now, we made a post, you may have seen on our Facebook and our Instagram, we made a post that these little bunnies are in here and they are looking for a home. So we may end up having all of them leave today, which is great news. When you get animals in from rescuing, it's always good to find them a home and right away. So the reason why these rabbits are here is because there was a family that went to a pet store and got 2 rabbits. And this is something that happens a lot. People go, they say, well, I want 2 girls or 2 boys, because of course they don't want to deal with having babies. Well, that wasn't the case. The pet store had given them 1 male, 1 female, and unknowingly they took them home. And as time went on, well, the female started pulling hair, making a nest, and of course the little ones come along. So we have dad here. They had mom at home, and then I believe they took, was it 1? I think one of the other ones, one of the daughters, they took, so that they now have 2 sets. So we checked them out and made sure that the boys were boys and girls were girls, and separated them, made the post, and we had quite a bit of action on our social media. So it looks like some people are coming today that are interested in these little ones. So if you are interested in picking up a rabbit, try not to go to the pet store. Don't support the pet stores. They buy from breeders, and there's a lot of rabbits out there in need of home. So check your local rescue and find out what is available there before going to a pet store. In relation to animals that do come in like this, we've had a few that have come in that we haven't been able to show you right away, but we usually show you when they leave the yard. If you are interested in supporting us, you can go over to our Patreon page, because we do actually keep our Patreons updated when these things happen. So our Patreons have seen special videos that I've posted as they've come in, just to keep them updated. So if you're interested in that, head on over to our Patreon page and support us. These guineas that are running around, you know, every once in a while you see these guineas just darting back and forth, and usually what it is, it's a male that's chasing another male, or yeah, that's male versus male. Sometimes it's a female running from the male, but the females don't usually strike back like that. So I'm up here with the boys, with Billy and Carl, and last week I closed in this area here. So we've kept all the wiring and everything. We ended up taking it back down again. Tara ended up mowing this area, just because if you look over here, there is quite a bit of greenery for them to eat in here. So they really didn't do that great of a job doing it. Now, last year when we had other animals like the equine, like the donkeys that we had here that hung out in there in the wintertime, they ate quite a bit more. So because there's only 2 of them, Billy, what are you doing, Billy? Because it's only Billy and Carl in here, they're just not eating it down. So they've got lots to eat. Right, Carl? Yeah. This is one of your favorite spots, right in the shade, isn't it? Right in the shade, yes. So these guys are in the front area, which isn't accessible to the public. They can look over the fencing, but they can play a little rough. Especially with little kids. See, he wants to fight a little bit, doesn't he? Yes. You want to play? Yes, you do. And so they can be just a little tough on people who don't know anything about goats, what to expect, especially with the males, and then of course, for sure, little kids. Right, Billy? You guys just play too rough. So it looks like the sheep, Alpaca, and Equine are in here. All the goats must be out back. This is Levi, and then we have Daisy, and we have little Meadow over there. Now Meadow has been getting a little bit of training from Tiana, so she's been haltering her up and getting her a little bit more used to it. She hasn't really been haltered a whole lot. She's been running wild and free with Levi. Levi has lots of energy, and they get along really well. Now Tiana took Meadow over into the other pen to get a little peace and quiet away from these guys. And of course Levi was right there by the fence, and he was whining. He was like, when can Meadow come back? I want to play with her. I want to run. Daisy, of course, came in last year with really bad feet. She's been doing very well. She can't quite keep up with them, but it's great to see when she does, and she goes back and she runs around with them. She just needs a little bit more of a rest, because these other 2 have lots of spunk and energy. So we have Shanzi here, and we have Paula, which Marley should be around. Where's Marley? Where's your son? He's usually always right by you. Maybe, I guess he's out back. He doesn't need mom anymore. Right, Turbo? So the sheep are in here. Tinker and Bronwyn. And now we happen to have two geese. So these are the Chinese geese. And it looks like, well, right now they're hiding. They're probably sitting on an egg. But of course they're in the pig pen, so the eggs don't last long. And Bronwyn's doing a little bit of house cleaning. What is all that noise? That's Atlas. Atlas is now outside, aren't you? Yes. So we had some of the other roosters leave and some of the more aggressive ones, which is why we didn't put Atlas out. So now he is out, and we've got a couple other roosters that he kind of hangs with. And then he usually, what are you doing? I came out of the house the other day, and he was just at the base of the stairs. There's Fernando coming along. And he was just at the base of the stairs. So I walked down, I walk across the yard, and he followed me right over. And I don't know, just started talking to me. I guess he's excited to be out. Well, there is Petey. Piper must be out in the pile of hay. These are the Czech geese, and a pekin, and a couple male Rowans. So Hannibal's doing really well. Of course, when he came in, he was in really rough shape. We didn't think he was actually going to make it, and we thought that the people who brought him had just brought him over for him to pass away here, and we were really concerned with his health. He had a really bad cough, which was probably due to the hay that he was eating, all of the dust and debris that was in there. Yeah, but you're doing pretty good now, eh, bud? So sheep usually live to about 10 to 12 years old, and he's in around 14 years old. We don't know his exact age, but he's an older boy. We're going to trim him up. He wasn't trimmed last year because he just wasn't putting on a lot of weight. Now he's got some more weight to him, and we're going to clean him up. Just as I thought, here is Piper here, rooting through all this hay, turning it, helping compost, doing it naturally, right? Look, have you met Atlas? He's following me. Marley, where's your mom? You're out here all by your lonesome. Good boy. Oh, and I see the goats. The little herd. Here they come. They must have heard my voice. So we have 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We are missing. Who are we missing? Oh no, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh no, they're all there. That's funny because Blackie always gets the other moms to babysit. So of course Shelby, or AKA April, which is that little one there. And then we have Clyde over here. So that's one of Blackie's. And then of course Bonnie is Clyde's sibling, and that's Blackie's. And then we have 2 of Petunias, which are her same color. And that is Melvin and Molly. Geez, I'm really struggling with these names. Those are the 2 newest named ones. And then we have Baxter, which is the brown one, which is Coco's other one. Okay, so I'm at the back corner of the property, and this is the area where the coyote came in. Wow, what was it now? It's probably been close to 3 weeks now since we've seen anything about the coyote. So there are a couple traps that are set up. This is kind of the back corner. Our property goes back further this way, but not this way. So we haven't quite, this was all naturally cleared at the time we put up the fence, and we figured, well, let's just wait and do that at a later time. Now we do have a couple traps that are set up over there. There's 3 of them. And there was actually one that was down. Actually 2 of them were down. One of them was broken and there was a tuft of hair on it. Now the type of traps that are used, it only goes down to a 4-inch, and it doesn't kill anything. It just captures them and holds them. And what had happened was it was actually a deer that got caught in it and then snapped it, because it's meant to break under a deer's pressure. And of course it doesn't go down far enough to capture a leg. So this area here, if you look at the electric fencing, there are 4 lines here. This white one here isn't energized, it's just more of a visual. And we did have one down here at the bottom at one time, but for whatever reason over the years it broke and we never replaced it. So this is a fair-sized gap, very easy for a coyote to come in. So we will be closing this off. It's probably why we didn't have problems with coyotes over the years, and now we do. And you can see here, this one is probably about a foot off of the ground. So what we're going to end up doing is putting another line in between that insulator and the ground, and run it across there as just an extra added predatorial repair for the fence. So back here in this same area, I forgot about these guys. So we have a few of the other sheep here. We've got George, we've got Moira, and we've got Flora that are back in there. And then it looks like we also have Petunia over there as well. So there are some of the other ones, and they're just out in the back here grazing. So you can see this area hasn't really been cleaned up. So this is an area that we will in the future work on. But as you can see here, there is no greenery down on the bottom. So the sheep and the goats will clear that area. And then we just have to basically come in, pick up, and cut off all the sticks coming out. So if you are getting an acreage, a great idea would be to pick up 1 goat and 1 sheep. Because what happens is sheep will usually graze. And so they'll basically be from the back or base of the neck downwards. That's their preferred area to eat. Now goats, their preferred area to eat is from the base of the neck up. So you'll often see them standing on their hind legs trying to get at those leaves, and they do a really good job at keeping any kind of canopy fairly level, so that you can walk through the trees like this and not have to worry about those branches. So if you were to go in, for example, on the other side of the fence here, now it looks pretty dense because you can't even see in that area. So again, you know, they'll eat that area up to a certain level, and they'll keep it open just like this. And we're back up to the kids. I just missed it, but Coco had pushed down one of these long trees. There's not much on the top of it, there's a few little leaves, but she stepped on it and pushed it down to the ground, and then all the kids came up and ate all the leaves. There we go. Patches is feeding her kids, and here is Coco. Okay, she's got it down. And, oh no, she doesn't like that one. She's gonna try a different one. Which one are you going for, huh? Okay, so Petunia's just come into play here. So she's like, okay, you push it down and I will eat it. Okay, here. There's some good ones on this. I'm gonna push this down. Look, guys, Coco! Coco! Oh, look! Come on, kids! Come on, kids! Come on! Okay, here they come. All right, get your place. So you can see how much they love leaves. So they'll prefer leaves over grass anytime. They're not really as much of a grazer as the sheep are. They prefer the good stuff. Oh, some new luscious leaves. Bonnie, come on over and get some of this. Okay, you guys have done a pretty good job on that. Okay, we'll leave the tree now. It's got to grow some more. Yeah, you guys go find your own. Good girl. These two came over, Moira and George. And I was looking at George, which is the farther one. He's only a year old. And of course, Moira here is, she's probably about 3 or 4 years old. But she is a miniature breed, so she's a Shetland sheep, which is why she is smaller than the 1-year-old. I didn't think that was George when I first saw them, but it sure is. So Moira is still pretty skittish, but when we see the animals running around in the bush from our deck, Moira's right in there, and she is just having a blast being out here. Right, Holly? Yes, hi Ollie. So I'm not sure where Blackie is. She figures, I guess, she's alpha, so she doesn't have to look after the kids. She can get the other ones to look after them. She's likely over there. I did see her over there earlier when she is ready to feed, which is basically when she has a buildup of pressure in her udder. She will call out to the kids, and it's amazing. On the distance, she can just call out and you'll see the kids perk up and then just bolt in that direction. So it's pretty amazing that they can communicate like that. I'm just walking back through the building. This is our, well, we call it storage and nursery. Nursery for chicks and ducklings, which we've got 2 sections here. We have an incubator. We haven't actually incubated in a couple years. I have done a few videos on the maintenance operation. If you are interested in watching some chicks hatch, you can watch that video. Now, we also store some feed in here, and I was just thinking about this. This came about yesterday when those new rabbits came in. This here is rabbit food, and it is essentially a 50-pound bag, 25 kgs, and you buy this at a feed store for like 20 bucks. So it may be different depending on where you're located and what currency you're using and all that good stuff. But just keep in mind, if you do have a rabbit and you buy your food at a rabbit store, like the people did who brought in those rabbits yesterday, we told them about this and where to pick it up, and it's actually in the city. You can go, and it's just a feed depot. So this is Master Feeds here, which used to be called Feed Right. But in your area, I would encourage you to look up a animal feed store. Most people think that they're not open to the public, that only farmers can go there, but you can walk right in, pay cash or debit or credit or whatever you want to do, and pick up bags. So it's a huge savings. Look who decided to wander in. Here's Blackie. Here, I picked you some greens from this side. Oh, what is that? There you go. Oh, that's the good stuff, isn't it? So checking out the greenhouse, Tara has a new little friend that's been hanging out. And here he is. So it is a gray tree frog that's been hanging out in the garden here. And he was first spotted on the top of the shovel right here. And Tara was going to go use the shovel, but then she saw him on there and she figured, I don't need to use the shovel right now. So he's been hanging around out in the garden. So here is the greenhouse. So we are hopefully going to get the plastic on today. It is a little windy, but hopefully that won't be a problem. Now what I did yesterday is, you can see these upright pieces here. and then there's a shelf that goes across. So we installed those. I welded them in place so it's all secure, and we're going to put poly over top of it, and then probably put 2 zippers come down that we can maybe roll it up and then just throw it up on top of the shelf. Now this is all shelving unit. If you didn't see in the last video, we had bought a whole bunch of shelving units from a department store, cut them, bent them over and put these brackets on, welded them in place, 2 sets of them, and then welding them together. So it's looking pretty good, and it is very strong. So what Tara's doing right now is on the corners where we did the weld and the cut. Somebody had suggested, I can't think of it right now, but thank you. I didn't think of hose. Somebody said hose, and I thought, well, hose isn't going to work, but I was thinking about running the hose down the end. Had that in my mind, but this worked really well. So we have put the hose all on the end so that the poly can go over top of it and not get ripped. It looks like she didn't get the one on this end here, so we'll have to make sure we get that. So she is on the last couple down here. And we have an exhaust fan at the end, which I'm going to take a thermostat, 120 volt thermostat, and wire up to that so it comes on automatically as soon as the temperature hits a certain... Yeah, it's pretty robust, that fan. This shelving unit here you can see is crooked. It's because of the ground, so we're likely just going to cut off the feet and then level it out, and then I'm going to do the same thing with welding that across there. Yes.
Welding down here?
Yeah.
This could do with being welded.
Okay. Well, then leave that off. I'll weld that. There's the one at the other end that needs to be done. And yeah, so I'll get to that right away. We just wired them together. That was our prototype, our first one. So none of that is welded together. But we'll have to do something with that. So that is the look at the greenhouse. It looks like the other ones are coming in. And you can see Petunia over there. Oh, just finished feeding her 2 kids. And then we have Toby, Dwight, and Charlotte there, and Holly. And they're working their way back in again. So usually what they'll do is they'll go out in the morning, and then they will head back in the afternoon, and then kind of mid-afternoon go out for another little walk, and then head in for the night. So if you've been following us on social media, and I believe it was also in last week's video, you will know that we have birds that nest underneath our deck over here. Now I had placed some cameras. One of them was one of my house cameras, and the other one was a smaller camera, wireless camera. So you can see there is the house camera, and there is the nest. And then I had put up an Argus 2 camera, which is a wireless camera, up in that area. So once the little ones had hatched, I took that camera down and took it inside the house and pulled the footage off of it. And then it was probably a day went by, day and a half, and I went back out and was remounting it and noticed that the nest was now empty. So I was curious as to what went on. So that camera there was continuously running and recording. So I went back into that footage and I found out that the nest was actually raided. So Mama Bird took off, left the nest to go get some food for the young, and who flies in but a pair of house sparrows. Female came in first, and then the male came in almost like a lookout. I've seen some other footage online about this happening and realized that this type of bird does this. It's very common. They live everywhere, and they usually live everywhere people are because they kind of live with people. And it looks like they're somewhat of an invasive species. I believe they were originally from Europe, and then they were kind of brought over here. So they're all over the world. And what they do is, actually there's one right there. There's a male. Actually, no, that's not a male. Actually, it is a male, but that is the flycatcher. So they're about the same size, but the flycatcher's nest is still up. And that looks like the male. And what the difference is, the robin is just the single parent, single mother, but the flycatchers, both the male and the female, take care of the nest. So there's usually always somebody around. If I walk underneath there, one will fly out, and then both of them, you'll hear them chirping. So hopefully those house sparrows don't get a hold of that nest. Now I guess it's just they're eliminating competition in the area. I'm not quite sure, but it was kind of sad to see. Both robin nests were ransacked. So unfortunately, no babies today. So I don't know if she's going to sit again, but likely not, since she sat and she got to the feeding stage. Probably won't be until next year. So I wanted to update you on those guys. So that is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it, found it interesting, entertaining, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber and you made it this far, well, click on that subscribe button. It's much appreciated. And until next week, we'll see you then. Have a wonderful week. Bye-bye.